All right, Zach, thank you for coming in for Genuine Discussions with the GM. We have a few questions for you that's come up regarding code enforcement. And so whenever you get a chance, just answer them to the best of your ability. So let's talk about trash cans. What constitutes as a trash can in public view violation?
Yeah, so it's actually a question and report that we get quite a bit. For us, trash cans in public view is any time the trash cans can be seen from the street. So when we go out and do the inspection, if we can see them, even if it's behind a tree, a car, anything in the front yard, it would still be in violation. It would still be in violation as well if it's on the side of the home, if it's not behind a fence. So that's something to keep, in mind. But if it's behind a fence, a side fence, then it would not be in violation.
Yeah. So basically, they just need to get it out of plain view, from the street.
From the street. If we can see it, no matter what angle, if we can see it from the front view and it's not behind a fence, it would be a violation.
Gotcha. Here's one that's not in the questions. Let's just say a resident's going out of town. People go out of town once in a while. Can they actually call you guys to let you guys know, like, hey, the trash day is on Monday. I'm going to have it put out, but I won't be back until Tuesday or Wednesday. If they went out of town twice a year or once a year or something like that, can they call and let you guys know that, or send you guys an email and put you guys on notice that may happen? Or what can they do about that?
Yeah, we definitely recommend calling in and speaking to us. We're very happy to help with time where we can. Typically when it's a day or two, it's not an issue. We can help put notes in and notify all the officers, so they're not sending you a notice for those things.
Good to know. How can someone get more time when a violation, if it takes a little longer than what the courtesy notice? So if you get a courtesy notice and it says, hey, you have 2 weeks to do something, or you have 30 days, but the scope of work is probably going to take a little longer than that, what could a resident do?
Yeah, so every violation will have a time frame on it. Anything that's needed past that, I highly recommend coming in and speaking to us or calling us. We're very, again, happy to help with as much time as we're allowed to. Things that typically fall outside of that time frame that might require more time, we recommend doing an architectural application. I know it sounds weird, but anything that would require that time frame should be approved by the architectural committee. So we do recommend filling out that application, and they would give you what they feel is the appropriate time frame for that violation.
Awesome. So speaking of architectural applications, what are some things you need when submitting an architectural application to the association?
Yeah, so we accept the architectural application in a few different forms. What's probably best and what I recommend most of the time is coming in and submitting it. Some architectural projects require a deposit, so you're able to do that when you're here. We only do the checks and money orders for those, so that's typically something not a lot of people are aware of. But on top of that, we also accept it through the mail and through email. You just want to make sure that it is filled out appropriately, and that's why I recommend coming in and doing it so we can help go over all that stuff with you.
Awesome. And can they set up like an appointment with someone on staff to, like, they wanted to come in at a particular time and they coordinated that? Can they send an email to do that?
Yeah, awesome. Email, phone call. We're always happy, and almost every part of the day is available just to drop by as well if you need to and go over that stuff. Okay.
So what is a variance and when is it required?
Yeah, so a variance is basically anytime you're asking to do something that's outside of our rules. So if it's putting something like in your setbacks or doing something like a not approved material, you're basically asking for permission for like a special circumstance. Mm-hmm. Typically with that, the variance is a form that has a separate deposit with it or a fee. And then we send out letters to all of your neighbors that are surrounding you, and they are allowed to comment on the project. And so the committee takes all those responses into consideration when making their decision.
Gotcha. Okay. Appreciate that information. So we get a lot of calls, whether it's public safety or code enforcement, about parking vehicles.
Yeah.
And we probably should identify the difference. And so what I mean by the difference is, what is the difference between driveway and street parking violations? And then another addition to the question is, what is the association's jurisdiction? And I can always ask that second question later, but what is the difference between driveway parking and then parking on the street?
Yeah, you are correct. It is something that we get a call about quite a bit, and I understand where people have the confusion. So driveway or front yard parking is anything that's on the property itself. Mm-hmm. So if you have a vehicle, a boat, a trailer, anything like that that's in the driveway or in the front yard, that's where we are enforcing. Anytime it's on the street from that point on, it is the county road, so it is CHP's jurisdiction. We do recommend, if it is something that's still long-term, reporting it to CHP as well. If you want to call and bring it to our attention, we'll help you with that. But they did tell us that CHP had told us that it holds a little more weight when it comes directly from the resident rather than a third-party reporting.
Makes sense. What I think they described it to me as, they don't want us to self-generate calls. They would rather hear from the residents, is what I've heard.
Exactly.
But like you said, we're here, we're happy to help, but we also want people to know to please contact the CHP also. It'll generate a whole new notice to their department of a violation.
Exactly.
Is there a requirement to submit photo proof of a violation you believe is corrected?
It is not required. A lot of people do send us photos when something is completed, and I appreciate it, because then it gives us a paper trail in that communication process with them. But typically it is not required. We're still going to go out and do our own inspection, get our own photos to make sure the violation has been fully corrected, and then it allows us to make sure there's nothing else additionally to bring to their attention.
Awesome. Well, Zach, thank you for your dedication to this department, for having genuine discussions with the GM, and we hope that this information that we're sharing with the community helps the community to understand the processes and procedures with code enforcement. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.